Okay, so year 9, we're looking at a topic. It's not our first topic, it's a topic. I'll just write out the first topic. We're doing expanding brackets, but I need to go back and look at key skills, and the key skills are multiplying terms. I'll just write the word terms in. Multiplying terms and adding and subtracting like terms. So we'll talk about that in a sec. Okay, so let's just go back to square one. So what is a term? So for instance, 5a, we can call that an algebraic term. An algebraic term. And it has a few components. Okay, so 5a is called the term. The number out the front is called the coefficient. The coefficient. A is called the pronumeral, and in case you've forgotten, the pronumeral just represents an unknown number. So you don't know what the number is, but it just represents any number. Okay, so 5a, 5 and a, all different parts of the term. Okay. So what does 5a actually mean? What does 5a mean? So 5a means 5 lots of a. Okay, so that's what 5a means. So when you have numbers, for instance, if you have 5 lots of 4, we know that 5 times 4 is 20. But when you have 5a, we don't know any more than 5a just means 5 times a, because we don't know what a is. A could be 4, a could be 20, a could be a fraction. So when you see 5a, you know that you have 5 lots, and 5 lots means 5 times. So copy that down if you need to, otherwise just keep moving on. So what does MN mean in words, and what could it be written as? So can you just write down 2 answers there, talk with a friend if you need to, and then come back when you're ready. So 5a was 5 lots of a, so MN means 5 lots of n, whatever that means. 5 lots of a, m lots of n, and it's the same as m times n. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. Copy down if you need to, otherwise move on. So, I've already started. What does x times x mean? What could it be written as? And what's your answer actually 2x? So can you write down 3 statements? Talk to a friend next to you if you need to, but when you're ready, come back live. Okay, so x lots of x, like e.g., 5 lots of 5, 7 lots of 7, 12 lots of 12. That's what x times x means. 5 lots of 5, 7 lots of 7, 12 lots of 12, x lots of x. And rather than writing xx, which looks pretty untidy, what we're doing, we write that down as x squared, because you've just done a topic on indices. Okay? And the answer is no. X squared does not equal 2x. For instance, 5 squared equals 25. 2 times 5 equals 10. 25 does not equal 10. So that means x squared does not equal 2x. And that's something you've really got to understand. X squared means xx, 2x means 2 times x, and they're not the same things. So just be very careful on that. When you're ready, come to the next slide. So let's just quickly go through, simplify the following, give yourself a minute, and hopefully you'll get an answer. 3 answers. Okay, straightforward. 5y, 2p, and the last one is minus 4d. Okay, moving on. So just a reminder, when you have a positive and you multiply by a positive, you get a positive, so 2 times 4 equals 8. But you also get a positive if you multiply 2 negatives together. That also gives you a positive. So for instance, if I've got minus 2 and I multiply by minus 5, I get a positive 10. If you're worried about that, can you put your hand up and come, and I'll come and see you, or Mr. Goring? But that's something you should have known from earlier days. And the other one is, when the signs are not the same, when a plus and a minus or a minus and a plus, you get a minus answer. So there's some examples there. So copy those down if you need to. Okay, so now we're up to like terms. So when you have numbers, when you have real numbers like 8 and 7, we can add them or we can subtract them because we know what they're worth. So when you have 2 lots of 5 or 3 lots of 5, can you work out an answer? And the answer is yes, because 2 lots of A is 2A. So we're back live. Sorry, we had just a break there. So 2 lots of 5 2 lots of 5 is 10, and 3 lots of 5 is 15, so we can work out an answer. Okay? But when we have pronumerals, we can only add or subtract, but they have to have the same pronumeral. Okay? We can add and subtract, but they have to be the same pronumeral. So if I've got 5 lots of A and 2 lots of A, I must have 7 lots of A. So in algebra, 5A plus 2A equals 7A. So that's straightforward. 3x plus 2x minus 4x. Okay? 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 minus 4 is 1. So the answer is 1x. And when you just have 1x, you can write it just down as x. Both answers are correct. So we have to have like terms. Okay. So to be very clear about like terms, they must be exactly the same pronumeral. 5x squared and 3x are unlike. Why? Because... Okay, back then, so I had just said mindfulness minute. You know, x squared and x are unlike because they're not the same. Okay, so in the next one, which ones are like? Mn, n, and m, all unlike. They're not the same. So, no adding and not subtracting. You can't do those. Okay, so can you just quickly go through those ones, get 3 answers, hopefully you'll be okay, and come back live. Okay, so A is the letter, so we can put down A. 3 plus 4 is 7, 7 minus 2 is 5. Okay, the letter is X. 5, there's no number, so we can put a 1, so 5 minus 1 is 4. And x squared, so the like term is x squared, and 2 plus 4 equals 6. So x squared is the pronumeral, and it can't change. It can't change to anything else. Like can't change to x to the 4. That's a bad mistake. Okay. Moving on. So harder ones, you can have negative answers, so, and I can mix up the pronumerals. So can you have a go at those two, and when you're ready, come back live. Okay, so we've got A's and A, so the answer must have the letter A. 5 minus 7. So here's like a thermometer. Here's 5A, and when you subtract, you go down, and you'll end up at minus 2. So 5, when you subtract 5, you get to 0, and then you have to subtract another 2. So you end up at minus 2A. Okay. In the next one, I've got some x's, so the answer must have x's. I've got some x squareds, so the answer must have x squared. So we look at 3x, and then you've got, in the x term, you've got to grab the minus sign because that's part of the term. So 3 minus 2 is 1. And then the second one, I start from, here's 0, I start from minus 4x squared, and I add, so it means I go up, and I end up at minus 3. And so that can be written as that. X minus 3x squared, which cannot be go any further. Copy that down and move to the next slide. And that's it. So there isn't any bookwork with this one as far as I know, but I'll have a look, and if there is, I'll put it down on your page for that day. Okay, thanks, bye.